people wanted me to show how to edit and stuff, so I decided to show you guys how I do and what I do. So I'm gonna show you this for Sony Vegas Pro 12.0. So when you open it, it would look like this, or yeah, it would look like this. And first, you need to open the. Don't bother about what I pressed there. This is by default. Open the files you want to render or edit or whatever. So I'm gonna select all these three. This is from one league game. They're three separate because I closed down the window because I used a full screen recorder. So just press yes there. And first you will see there's 1 to 3 different of these, and this is just all the clips. So just drag these up if you want, and make sure they match there so they're stuck together. Then drag them up so that you have easier times render, so you don't have to scroll down to them all the time. So yeah, let's pull those up. Then there's empty here. I don't know why it makes that. Just delete the track. Here's the different tracks, by the way, so you can like move this up, for example, but don't do that. Let's just have it there. So first of all, you need to go through the video, take parts you want. So for example, let's say that I want the first blood, and here's my volume, my mic, and I say, yeah, I'd say it's dead and stuff. So let's say that I want, yeah, let's say that I want that. So first of all, there's several things you can do if you want that part. You can either press S, you just press here so you haven't target, because if you press there and it highlights blue, that means you only target that. So if I press S now, or no, never mind. Don't bother about it. So just make sure it's nothing is highlighted. There. Just press on the track under, press S, then you split. And then you split on the next part you want here. So let's say, let's get the first blood in here. So I just click so that this thingy here comes, and then you can press the arrow keys and just slowly go through it frame by frame. So let's say I want it to end there. Just if you want it to end at a certain point, just take a bit extra so you can make transitions so it doesn't look like it just instantly skips, because that honestly looks a bit weird in my opinion. So yeah, we have this here now. So this is just useless bullcrap that I don't have anything fun. Just press one of these, because yeah, just press whatever here, then you press delete. So, and then we pull the clip that we had there. And let's take more moments that you want from it. So you just pick parts that you think are interesting and that you want to edit and do stuff with. So let's see if we can find any here. Let's say that I want this here. So just press split before. You can also watch in case if there's some sound, like if I say something and it cuts off, so you don't split it just on that. So let's say just undo that so the split event removes. Just edit and undo here. You can redo it as well. So let's take it here because I say something here, so I don't just cut it off and it sounds really weird. So I just split it there, and then let's say split it here. Then let's remove this. And let's pull that together. And then you keep doing this until you clean all this of the parts you want. So yeah, that's for the first part. Now you can see that I have the clip here, and then I want to, for example, if I want to move the sound, if it doesn't, he's dead, I said there, just a bit, just when he died. So if I want to take that sound and put it earlier, I just press this ignore, because if I want to like split these, they all split, so that's just gonna be messy. And if I want to, you can shorten it like this. So for example, if I have the full clip here, and if I want to like go back there, if I want to shorten it up a bit, then or just decrease and increase the size, it also removes a bit of the video and stuff. So I would not recommend to do that unless you, because the thing is when you do that, it's you got on here, and if you want to extend this and just have the sound, the music from the game or whatever, then you try and get that out, and this follows. And let's say I had something that I said here, and this follows, and you don't want it there. So let's just undo that size so I get exact. So if you want, for example, this part, let's say this is some kind of music or this is something in the game that's First Blood sound or something. So let's say that I want that. So you can't really, because then all of them changes. So to change that so that you can only change this one, you have to go up here and you see lock events to envelope, lock envelopes to events, and then you have ignore event grouping. You can also press Control Shift U, and then when you highlight these, so they're a certain color, you can then, for example, if I press this so it's red and I press S, this one only splits. So if I press this and if I just drag this down, shorten it, this one only changes. Same with this one. And if you can extend it out. So if you see, I cut it off here and then I remove the part. So if I pull this out, you can see that it has the audio um, files from the part we removed, because there's non-existent, there's empty here. But if I pull this out, it adds the video that I removed before. So this is the part we removed and stuff that I didn't want. So let's just undo that because I don't feel like they like crossed there. So I'll show you about that. So let's say I want this here, this thing, the music from the game. I just press that, have the ignore event grouping on, Control Shift U basically to turn it on. It's up here, and you just press S, and I remove this. Or if I just want to save it, I just pull that forward and have a little workspace here, and just move these backwards in case I want. But now I have the ignore event, so I can move these as well separately. So if I want the audio from this part, I just put it there, or like make it into proper size, and then put it there, and then make it bigger or smaller in case I want it here to fit. Or so if I add the audio here, I see so that it's, because you see like the little audio, you see like when sound goes up and down and stuff like that, or whatever. I think you understand, because when someone says something, it goes up. Damn, he says, and so you need to know where it starts. So then it starts around here because this waves are low. So then you shorten it down and there, and let's see if it, yeah, there they started to say it there, and then it ends around there. So let's shorten that down and just remove that. And let's say I want it at a certain moment. So it's like I know where he says it. He starts to say it there. So if I want it to start right there, I put it there. And it says damn exactly there. So you can choose where you want to put it. If you go frame by frame, you just pull it to this because it gets stuck to this. If you see it just stops there if you hold it close enough to it, and it shows orange on this. So uh, that's for the first part. So you should just keep adding this, or if you want more parts of this, if I just want this, I can. This is just stupid. It's just bad to do this. If I want this and then I missed this part that I wanted, you just use split as I said before. Just target this, have the ignore emit grouping on, split these parts away, and then you just have these empty ones. There's nothing in it. So let's remove that. You put them where you want them. Certain sounds. And this is just one of the clips. This is one of the ones I wanted, for example. So here it starts, And to make it so it doesn't just start immediately, let's say we want a bit more of that so we can like fade it in. And we just extend it so we get a bit before that. Because if I undo all this. So yeah, I made it bigger here. You see, this is where we cut it from the beginning. And if I do this, you see there's like a little corner up in here. There's blue, and it makes this symbol on your mouse cursor fade in offset. And then you pull this inwards. And the further you pull it in, so if I pull it there, the screen shows fully. Wait, I can show you. It's kind of hard to explain. See there, it's like fades in, goes from black to the video, so it shows the picture footage or whatever. And I can extend this if I wanted to like be fast, or if I wanted to be really slow. I can fit it in like that, and you can choose how long you want. It also says like this is not 18 seconds fading offset. 18 seconds, that's not what it means. It's 18 frames. Since I record 30 frames per second, it's 30 frames for 1 second. So there, it changes to 1 second here. So if I wanted to fade it in for 1 second, just pull it there, and there's 1 second, so it fades in. Then after that 1 second, it shows fully, so it's not like fading in, or if it's darker. So then it shows fully here, so it doesn't look choppy, so you can like make it so a bit polished basically. And it looks much better when you're done with it, in my opinion. So if I want it to fade into another track, I have ignore emit grouping on, by the way, so it's like I can only pull one of these. But if I remove this, press Control Shift U again, then these ones are stuck together. If they're red like this, they're like a bit pinkish. That means that I've removed the event grouping and moved them around, so they're separate all the time now. So if I turn this on, this doesn't get stuck to this like it's when these are white in the background. So this one is stuck to this one, but they're all separate. So if I like move this, and this is a part of this clip from the beginning, it's like that. But if I split it, oops, let's put so it doesn't split the clip as well. Split these, and let's remove these, and let's remove the event grouping again. And there, it's separate now. So this is a whole new thing. So they don't move together now like they did before. Um, so let's say if I want to end the clip here, so it doesn't just let's show you. So it doesn't just jump immediately like that. So let's make it. So if I pull this clip over the other one, zoom in here so you can see how many frames there are and stuff. So it goes up to 30, 20, then it's 10, 20, 30, and that's a whole new second. It goes down to 10, 20, 30, just in case. So if I pull this over, just drag it on here, you see it says 7 frames, 8 frames, 10 frames. So if I wanted to like fade out onto each other, like let's say this is 1 second. So it's like changes screen in the background and just change it from that to the other. Because doing this, like, the fade thingy, you can also fade them out. Like I did before, you can pull from the corner so the mouse cursor changes. That's fade in, that's fade out, because you can tell by them changing. It's a bit tricky in case you're close to each other. Oh shit, I pull them out. So there. So if I want this to like fade out dramatically like that, and then you just start over there, and I can also fade this in, but it just looks really weird in my opinion. It just, if you want to change between a game, if you played a game with like League and then you want to make a longer clip here with another game, then you can do that. So it's a bit longer, so it's like a little end of that thing. Otherwise, it's just you change scene by a bit smoother. You just pull this over and it makes one of these. So that's why if I wanted, for example, the beginning here that I cut out, if I wanted just this part, you can always just extend this and then pull that extended part over so it still changes, but you still have the clip that you wanted there. This is just a bit hard to understand because you need to be a bit familiar, because play around with it, but so because I was really confused with this in the beginning, but when I got started, it just really easy. So you have to just get the program for yourself and try it out while I try and explain, and it's much easier, and then you learn how to do it yourself. Also, there's so much on the internet you can check up in case you need any help or etc. So yeah, then the next thing is you have here video effects. I rarely use this. This is just some weird if you case you want, because you see like how the beginning and then it changes from this. You see there's the regular colored eye, and then there's the one that it changes to there. So in case you want to change some colors or weird stuff, the only thing I use here is brightness and contrast. This is just you can make your own ones. So if I pull this and I want to make this video clip brighter, I pull this onto the video track here where you have the video, and this comes up, and here you can change the brightness here, and if I want to change the contrast on top of that, so that looks really weird, but just to show you. And if I don't want this, if I accidentally put this and I want to remove it, you just press one of these, or you can just, I think you can press the remove selector plugin. Yeah, there. This thing I will show you later that came up. You can also make your own ones. For example, I made one for Stalker here, in case if it's dark scenes and stuff. You just pull this in here, default, then it comes up something called preset. You name this what you want, for example, League. You change this to what the brightness you want, in case you want to put it on other clips later. So you don't have to type in the exact number that you had from before on the brightness level. So, and then we just press save preset. Now it's have something called League here. Yeah, there it is, League. And then, for example, if I wanted to put here, I just don't have to pull the default in and change the sliders for how bright I want. I just pull the League one in there, and voila, I got the same amount of brightness that I got from this one. So that's just a good example of how to use that. Now, just move this. Just, by the way, down here you see the plugins. If you accidentally close this window down with the brightness, it says it's white here because I removed the brightness from this one. I don't have any brightness here. But if I added something to it, like a brightness or etc., you see that this little symbol here is green. And when a clip is really small, it doesn't show that sometimes. You have to zoom in and you can see that. So I press this comes up and it shows me if I added something here, the brightness, contrast, or something else, which I rarely do. I only use the brightness and contrast. And I'll show you something else in case you download some green screens or just explosions, and but it'll get to that. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. So then I press that and this comes up where we had it before. So if I want to change this again, and if I want to save it to the League one, or if I just want to change this separately, then just close it down regularly. It just, if I change that and just close it down, then it stays like that. If I wanted to save on top of League, if I want to change it to the other ones as well. So let's just remove that. And then we got this symbol here. This symbol, besides the one where we have the plugins. This is where you can zoom in. If you want to like zoom in and on certain stuff, it's like you pull this one down, and if you want to rotate it, you grab the circle. You see this, the mouse cursor changes depending. If you want to pull it out, if you want to pull it up, and stuff like that. And just also settings here that so you can't change like that. You can only change it like this, so it stays like the same size, so it doesn't go really stretched out. Yeah, it's just basically you can just change it however you want. I think that's better. And rotate it. And if you don't get it exact as you want it, like from the beginning, you just right click, you press restore, and it goes back to as it were before. There's also, if you wanted to flip horizontal, flip vertical. So if you want to like take it upside down, or if you want to go it from the other side, it just looks really weird, like that. So if I want to zoom in on something, let's say that you see there's black on the sides of the screen here, you just right click, press something called match output aspect, and it changes it so there's no black things there, and then you can just move it on how you want it. There's also on the side, if you're not like really precise with moving it, like for example, if I just want to move it up and I accidentally move to the side, you can press this thing here, move freely. So you press that, and now I can only move it to the side. I can't move it up. It just moves to the side. Same thing, I can press it again, so I can only move it up, but I can't move it to the sides. Press it again, and you move it freely like usual. So that's one thing. Oh yeah, now it's changed that. Then I don't want it to be like this anymore, so I just press restore. Um, yeah, that's one thing. And if I want to, for example, if I want to add the, let's see if we find a good scene here. If I want to, for example, add like glasses or something, let's find some glasses. Let's have this save stuff here. This is just, I can send you the link and put the link to this. This is like a map where you get a lot of stuff to begin with. There's like glasses and some fun basic stuff. Let's see if we find the glass. There they are. And you open these, and you see that the picture of this, it has like small little checkboard thingies that's white and black. That means that the picture are transparent in the background, and you can do that by cutting stuff out, putting it into Photoshop, which I'll probably show some other time. I don't know. But let's just take this and let's start off with this because this is just the basic. Then you see I put it there. Let's see, and it shows you where you can put it. So it's like a little bar here, and I can't put it up here, and I can't put it there because this track is made for audio. It's made for sounds. This one as well up here. This one is made for video and pictures and stuff. So I can put this right on top of it, but then it just doesn't show the video. So let's put it back down here. And let's say we have we want to add more stuff like sunglasses on this two persons that is in one screen. We have this track for this kind of stuff. So we pull this track up here. You see this? It's on this track 4. I grab this and pull it up to the top. So it's track 1, and now it shows over the video. So it's over the video, just like the track is over the video. So it doesn't like, if I pull this down, it doesn't show at all because the video is over the glasses and the glasses are under there somewhere basically. So but let's pull that up and let's see. I don't want the size. Just open the thingy that this is on the video, but on a picture, you don't resize and zoom in on the picture. You can resize this picture. So let's say if I want to make it really small, it just doesn't work out because it has a set size basically. So yeah, let's just make it as small as possible. Otherwise, it doesn't go more. Let's just change it to the side, I think, right? Oops. It's gonna be a bit annoying sometimes. So you pull this from the corner and just pull it how far up as possible as can. And then you see, yeah, let's see, that is good enough, I think. Let's just say that we want that size, or just say can't pull it up more. This is maximum. Otherwise, you can just do that and then zoom in. So let's say if I want to match better, just zoom in on it and then you can change its size to better. So we can also scroll here. And this little dot is like where the focus is. So let's put it on the head because that's where we want it to have all the attention or focus to. And then there's these black borders around again. Right click, match output aspect. Then we close that down. Then we open this again. And now we can put it where we want it there. So yeah, let's have it there. So you can see that I started, for example, the video starts here. And then I want the glasses just be on the start of the video. Just there it begins. We put the glass so it matches in the beginning. And if I want these to move, so example, it doesn't fit now, does it? No, it doesn't because I'm running basically. So if I put this fits now. And let's say, yeah, there, that moves up. We need to scroll in because I don't know what is with it, but it's supposed to show, I can show you later. But it says here, it starts at 0, 424 And since we're at 30 frames, we count at 6, then it goes up to 5, and you count at 2. So it's 8. It's 8. We have 8 frames until it moves. 8 frames basically, because we're at 30 frames per second, and it's 30 frames per second basically. So it's 8 frames for it to move. So we see down here, if we want to make it move, first I press this upper one right there, and then this is the beginning of the video. So if I press just this, and then I use the arrow keys, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then you're at 8 frames. That's where it moves. Then you can move the where it wants you to match it up again. So for example, if I watch it now, it moves with it. So it moved to that 8 frames. 8 frames is not a lot, so you can't really see it. But yeah, see, when I scroll the video slowly, it changes with him. So as soon as it moves, you want to put it there. See, I just put it there because he moved. See, it's moving on top of him now. And then if you scroll in on, let's see, 8 frames, it was 6, 2, and 2. So it moving to there. And then if you keep scrolling from where we wanted it to move, you can see that it's not moving with him anymore. So that is a long time you have to spend in case you want it to move exactly with him all the time. So that is 4 seconds, and I just barely made 1 second. So if I just right click this one and delete, and I want it, for example, to move from across there to example here. So then I first click there, and then I position it where I want it in the beginning. There. And so let's say, for example, if I want a big picture that moves across the screen. So let's say I want it, if it just removes it there so you can't see the end, just press match output aspect as before, and then you can move it outside a bit here. I've never truly understand it, but it works most of the time. And if I want it to move from like a bit here to the end of the screen, you see this is the timeline. For example, this picture shows for 4 seconds. It shows from like 5 to a bit over 9. So this is 4 seconds basically. It even shows you the max time here. It's like if you scroll and you zoom in on this timeline, you press there and you zoom in and it says like the max. Yeah, it's 5 seconds, around 5 seconds, yeah. And you want it to move from a certain point. So let's see, it starts there. You see it appears there because I have it set on here if I want it to appear there, or if I don't want it to just appear instantly, you can always do that as the same as the video. You can make it fade in. See, it like fades in. Um, that doesn't really change anything for this though. That's just how if you want it to fade in, so you don't want it to magically appears glasses from out of nowhere. Oops. Oh my, I hate this when it does that. Fucking hell. Oh my. Yeah, let's just put it there. Just pull that in so we can see the other stuff here on the side. So if I want it to end, you see it's still there because we haven't set a point for it. So yeah, here, this is where it starts, where it begins. It's basically here you have it, and then you need to go back to the beginning, and you need to. So I can't see it now because it's fading in. If I pull this fade back, appears instantly. So we can fade it in later if we want it to like appear. So let's put it there. And if I want it to go all the way there, I go to the end of this timeline for the time it's in the video basically, and then I press just up here so it still shows this, and then I can move this. I just need to go to the end of this. You can see this is where the end is basically, and then I can move this in the end. So if I wanted to, example, end down here, there, and now we press. Now we see that this is the beginning where we were before, where we started it. here basically. Um, then it ends. It doesn't show on the video because you're not at that point. So let's go to the end of this, and it ends down here. It's right here. So, and now we check the video. It's like it goes all the way down there. And depending on how long the thing is and how long you want it, for example, now it's 5 seconds. It's going down there for 5 seconds, so it's slow because 5 seconds takes 5 seconds for it to go down there. But if you want it to like fasten up a bit, just right click these points and you press fast, fast, and you can like see that it goes a bit faster, but it ends sooner. So then it goes slow in the end because it's a bit hard to explain, but it's you probably need to learn basic before that. And there, and let's just forget about that. It's basically when you learned enough to understand it, you just can find a video on it. I can probably put links for everything because I'm not good at explaining it. Just they wanted how I edited the videos because they thought it was kind of interesting. So um, yeah, that's for that. And I've told you about transitions. I've told you about splitting parts up. I've told you about editing, shorten this kind of stuff. Moving is the regular part to part. Show you how to fade in, fade out. Show you how to move pictures, put pictures on top. Um, oh yeah, if I want a sound to play over and over, so if I want this damn to play over like on top of each other, like oh damn, 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 or something like that, then I take copy. I pull this up so it's easier to work with, or I can just keep that where it is and just copy, click somewhere here, and then paste it. And then it made a new track, because this track, I mean, new audio tracks just for audio, because this one was for pictures we had the glasses. So this I can't really pull this up here. So let's have this done, and then we pull it up over the video so it's easy to work with. So I copy this, I paste it in, and I need to make a new track. So let's see. You go up to edit, or wait, insert, yeah. Then you either choose a video track or audio track. In this case, we want the audio track. And this goes down here. And it makes an empty one. We pull this up here, there, so we can overlap with each other. So now it's placed them at the same time. Damn, damn, damn. You can also shorten this if you wanted to like say damn, damn, or something like that. If you want them to be, and you can edit this in separate because you see where he starts saying the stuff. It's like here, he starts saying damn, and it ends there because this volume thing goes down till it stops because he says something here, right? Um, so now it says damn, damn. So, or you can do that with other sounds, for example, if you wanted to. But if the sound are a bit choppy, if it says like the damn like really fast, um, oops, that's not what I wanted. You can just make them put them on top of each other so this thing comes here like it's the transition. That's up to you to experiment because that's basically what you want it to do. So it's like it fades. You can see when I pull it in here, this volume thingy changes. It like overlaps, like the volume goes down and it fades in. Because this track here is going down, it's fading out, and then the other one is fading up at the same time. So if you understand what I mean by that, it's pretty handy to use and it's easy to use if you just understand the thing when I'm pulling this in, you can see the white one. It's making the thing fade out. This one is fading down, this one is going up. So it's like changing from that volume to the other, like a bit, so it's not like damn, and then it just instantly ends. It's just to make it a bit smoother. And so, sure about that. Then the next thing where I can send you the download link to this, it's a map. So let's see if I found it. I have it stored on my terabyte here. stuff, and there's intros, templates, and stuff like that. In case you want, I can send them because you can pull them into your Sony Vegas and then change the text. Like it's really easy. I can show you how to change text and add text soon as well. This is the one. It's a map. Then it says download the stuff. This is just a map I made in here when I took sounds from YouTube. Then it's GIFs. This is moving pictures. You can press on them, and it shows you like this moving stuff. You can just pull them in here if you want a moving frog, for example. See? And then it's moving for a certain second. If I want it to like move for long, if I want it to be on screen for longer, and I want it to be like in the corner there. Now it's moving there. So that's one example, and then it gives you a lot of this is all the GIFs that are in this. It's like the Snoop Dogg. You can experiment for yourself. It's a big folder. I think it's 1 GB actually. Reactions. This is just some wombo combo like mom get the camera and all those funny stuff. It's like the whole clip. So if I want mom get the camera, this is the whole part where they like talk, and it's pretty long actually, but the part that includes mom get the camera you can find for yourself. You can pull them down. For example, if it says mom here, I can just listen to it. Oh, he says that. It starts screaming, which is pretty loud. Then if you want to turn the volume down on this, you can see there's like a little box up here. It says gain. Then you pull this down and these bars goes down, so the volume stays at that level. So it doesn't get really loud and stuff. So you can just so there's like for example really loud stuff playing in the background and you can't hear yourself and you want to turn this down in the background. Pull this so it's a bit what could you say quieter than the other one. So yeah, that's for example. So I can just pick the parts I want from the soundtrack, and then if I want to extend it a bit, then just do that. Same if you want to make transitions from sound. If it like changes scene and you're saying something in the end, and you like stop talking just then, you can just put another. Let's say this thing here. I'm saying something there. So these ones are not bound together because I have the ignore event grouping, the control shift U, I think. Yes. Okay, so let's put this and I put this on top of this. So it like changes over. So it goes a bit smoother into it. So I can hear myself saying something from the other scene here, while I can hear the sound from the other soundtrack here. So it's like goes from that and changes smoothly into the other one. So it's not like instantly, like I said. So yeah, let's ignore that for now. Uh, this also adds, yeah, so that's music and images, and to make an image, like for example, if I pull this in, what's a good like you see this show I only want this face, and if I pull this in, it shows a whole picture like this. It doesn't only show this. That's why if you want to find a picture, I can show you a good example. If I want, for example, a pedo bear, and then I need to search transparent background, and you can see it's like this. I don't know if that works. I never tried it, but it's a good example. Let's say there, and then you see this little checkerboard thing in the background. That means it's transparent. So if I take this guy, save it, and I need to put it in here. Oh wow, really? It's not. Oh yeah, I took the wrong one. Shit. This is the one we want, right? Yeah, this is the one we want. So yeah, let's save that. Let's pull the right one in here. Wow, really? So this kind of checkerboard thing doesn't work on this. Well, you get what I mean. If you find one of these with the like in the background here, it's like where's a good example? There, this one is the one you want with like the strips and then the checkerboard in the background. Those works. or you can, if you want the pedo berry still, but you're not finding any of those, you can take this in Photoshop, and it's pretty basic, but you can find how to cut them out, and then just take the figure and then make the background into transparent, and then you can use it here without seeing this. But that's, I won't really take that up right now. So yeah, let's take the smiley there, and see it's not showing the background. It's because it's transparent. See, it's like on the picture here, it's like the checkerboard. Same with the GIF here, it doesn't show the background, it's just this guy. So that's a good example if you want to put stuff on top of your champion, or if I want to put like a happy face on top of him, or etc. I just make this smaller, which I won't do because I already showed you that. Just move the GIF as well. And then we go to this folder, and then it says green screens. There's called, this is just if you want some round killing cams, or if you want animations of a sniper sniping, or etc. So if I want go to stock footage collection explosions, then it doesn't show them here because I don't have a program to show them. It just shows them as an MP4. Just they're not. So example, I want the desert explosion. Let's see how that looks. It looks like this, and you see it's just green, pure green. And if I first move, or I forget about what, just go here to the video effects where we have the brightness and stuff. There's something called chroma keyer, and there's blue screen, green screen, pure red screen, green screen, blue screen, and stuff like that. So since this is a green screen and we just see pure green, we just pull the one called green screen on top of this one, and it shows you this, which I'll bring up soon. I just need to position this thing where I want it, where I want the explosion. So if I want it, for example, on top of my character, you can see that it like has a little bit of change of color. Oops. So for example, if I move it up here, you can see that there's a little border of black. Sometimes it just change the color of your whole screen because it's not matching properly. So let's put it there. For example, if I want the explosion to start there and then it goes up from there. Or if I wanted to like make it explode immediately, let's just pull this in, shorten it. This one is nothing. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's meant to be a sound or something, but it's not working properly. And then I want this to end right there, for example. So let's say there, it's just poof instantly, and then it can like fade out, so it looks a bit, so it just doesn't disappear immediately. So it's like there's a smoke disappears like a bit slowly. They just don't look at this. They just poof, it's gone. So that's why you can fade it out. You can also fade it in case you want the explosion to be a bit like dramatic, basically. So let's open this where we had put the green screen. We put the option, and then it shows that this is green, that there's something on there. And then we can choose if you want to like change this threshold, or if you want to change like options, basically how you want it. It's just small things, blur if you want to blur it out, or if you want to move it, or I don't know what it's, yeah. So you can just play around with this, and you can see that there's like a little dark box around here. It can barely show, but I think you will notice when you put it in. Then you can turn this so it blends in with the color of the game as well. So it's just not just a, well, let's see if I can see here. Let's add this, so this will probably show sometimes. So it's like it makes this darker, and then you can take it until it just doesn't show. So it blends in a bit. So that's it basically, and I can move this around if I want it. If I can shrink it in case I want it to be a little small explosion. Sounds and stuff you can find on the internet. You can find explosion sounds. There's some, I think, in this here, music, sound effects. There's some, but this is just hit markers, headshot, some laser beam, smoke weed every day, and damn son, where do you find this? And yeah, just some basic stuff, laser scan. All the else I can show you how to get later, you can find on YouTube and make that into MP and use it here and cut it down to where you want it. Which I'll show you with a program later. So yeah, we have that, and then we add, since I don't have an explosion sound here because it doesn't come with this, I don't think. So You just edit the sound where it begins, like there's an explosion here, for example. Just put it where that you want it to explode. It's like maybe here or there or whatever. It depends. You'll probably get the catch of it, hopefully. Otherwise, I suck at explaining this, which I do, obviously. So let's remove this because I don't need this. I already show you now. And if there's annoying empty tracks here, you just and make sure there's nothing on it that you saved. Just press right click that, delete track. Right click that, delete track. And right click that and delete track. Now you only have the 1, 2, 3, etc. And transitions that I never use, but it's just if you want to make it so that change from one screen to another with like a star symbol. How is it that you do this now again? I forgot. Let's just forget about that. I never used it. I don't know how to use it either. Here, there's a video effects where we had the chroma, brightness. Then you go to media generators down here. And you can find credit rolls. And you can like, if you have a credit roll, you can, this, I don't use this because I don't make credits. But this is the one if you want to add text, legacy text. When it's the checkerboard background, it means it's transparent, so it shows only the text. If it's the black background, it shows like a background basically. So let's just remove those. And then you added that, and then you want to change the text on it and the size and stuff. Press there, and there's like the same symbols as before, but there's an extra here. This green thing that says that you can change this. You can change the type, the text. You can change the size. You can change the placement, which this we don't need because we have the edit thing later. Properties, this is the color of the text, color of the background. Yeah, can I restore this maybe? No, since we didn't change a lot, let's just remove that because I didn't really want it to be color and I don't know how to remove it because I rarely use it, so I don't know. You can play around with it because it takes time. It's patient. You basically need patience and time, and it's pretty easy to know the basics, and with the basics you can make so much. All it does is some help in case you have problem. It just takes time and effort. And I spent maybe 4 hours on a 2-minute video on the last one that I made that is called A Between Us Feeling. So yeah, it takes a long time. You pick out the parts, you edit each individual clip, and so let's size this down. For example, if I want to add that, and that's the same thing with the glasses. You can make it move to certain locations here. Remember that the end of this here, it goes to, like it says 8 seconds here. It's like 10 seconds here. So if you make it move to the end of the screen, it says 10 seconds. It moves for 10 seconds, and 10 seconds is based on how long this is. This text shows for 10 seconds, so that's why. So if I move that down, open this again, it says 3 seconds there now. So it depends on how long this is as well. So now it shows for 3 seconds. And I can also make this be a bit like transparent, or like I can pull this up here as the same as you change the volume on audio. You can fade it in, you can fade it out. You can also put it on top here as a transition, like that. And then there's nothing here to show in the background, so it's black. But if I put a video clip like this, hold on. Oops. Oh shit. I goofed. So here, if you don't if you can't put it anywhere, if all the other tracks here are made for like audio and you can't put a video there, just scroll down and then there's like a little empty box here and you put it in and it makes a new video track for. Otherwise, you can press insert and audio track, video track. Then you pull this up here, or I can't pull it up because those are audio tracks. I'm stupid. I just pull this video track up here so it's easier to edit. And then I have it maybe here. It like stops there because it's like a little help thingy. Otherwise, you can pull it over if you want it to start a bit before. So there, changes into that. Changes into the text while there's a video in the background for it to show. But since this is furthest down, if I wanted to put this, for example, up here, it would show this video instead of that one. So fades in, so it doesn't fade in. It's covering all of this. So make sure that's under in case you wanted to fade into that. So if I wanted to fade it into another video, there you go. So hopefully you get the catch. Otherwise, I can't really help you. You can check up videos on the internet instead. So that's how I edit my videos. And if I want certain parts where we say something, I cut them out, add them, then if I, for example, if it's low, if I can barely hear what I'm saying, even though it's, if I'm like whispering or something, and if I want others to hear it, to change the volume, because here's where you change the volume. But if that's not enough, you press this option here, and this comes up. This is just some advanced stuff. Just don't bother about that. Then there's something called volume. You press that, click it so it's blue, press add, then OK. Then this comes up, and then you can change the volume so it's pretty much a bit higher. This is normal left 0 0 thingy. Yeah, it's a big difference honestly. Sometimes the audio quality can get bad since you're 10 like stretching on the possibilities that it can go up to. So it's like a certain limit, but it doesn't really affect a lot in my opinion. Just if it's really bad audio quality, then yes, of course. My mic sucks as well, so obviously if I want to put it up, it might change a bit. But I usually don't include a lot of the audio. I just take the parts I want, and if I have music on top of that, I'm going to show you how that works. So let's say I'm done with all this audio, and I think it's empty with just me talking, and then it's just pure silence here. I get the music I want, of course not copyrighted, because if you upload a copyrighted one on YouTube and there's bots that notice it, you get copyright strike and you can't show your videos, or in case your channel has a chance of getting shut down. You can't show it on certain countries. A lot of countries, basically, a lot of countries can't show it in if it's just one little small company or whatever. If it's copyrighted, sometimes it can be copyrighted. You're saying, hey, you're using our music, but you're allowed to. Just know that it's ours. And the other ones are just like, no, you can't use this because this is ours, basically. So take non-copyrighted. There's a lot of them I know as well, which I can send you a link to videos. I'll put them down explaining what they are for. So if you want to like find some funny music in the background, we take, for example, I have a bit of saved here. Hold on. Oops. So let's say I want the derp song. I put them in here, and it's the derp song starts here. This is just an intro for the video where I downloaded it. So I put it there to where it starts this thing, and if I wanted to fade it in so it just doesn't start boom instantly. So there, and if I'm saying something and the music is going over it, you can see the music is much louder than this. Then I can have, and if I still want the music loud on this part, which I'm not saying anything, just go to the part there. As this doesn't really matter, it's just if you want to change individual parts, the ignore element. Press split. This splits, and there's several things you can do here in case you want the music to go down while I'm saying something. And then here I stop saying stuff. Press split there as well. So there's a whole part here. First thing I can do is pull this over here, but then it can sound a bit weird that they overlap with each other. But in my opinion, that's a bit better. So then I pull it down, and I want it to be that. I had to pull this up again so it starts going to that one as well. So now it changes from this loud to a bit lower volume. And then it goes up again to the regular volume as I wanted it. Because I wanted the regular volume here to when I'm not saying anything. So this is basically a part where the volume goes down to a certain level when you're saying something, so you can hear you saying stuff instead of just music playing over and you have to listen really carefully. So yeah, that's it. And you can also move this in case you shorten this, because you need to shorten it a bit. Since you're pulling it over, these overlap, so this is a bit shorter now here. They're just on top of each other. So if, well, let's say I started it there and I ended it there, you see they're not matching, so just pull them so they match properly, or whatever. Same in the video, you can put the event grouping on. And if you split these and they're not stuck together, see I don't have a event grouping on, the ignore thingy, so I want to move these together, and they're since I split them, they just don't count, they just don't want to move together, so I can move around stuff easily. A good way to do this is you go up here, you see there's the normal edit tool, envelope, selection tool. You press selection tool, you get a little box here when you go down. You target all the things you want. So if I want all these stuff to move together and not the song here, let's say there, then I right click on just one of them because they're all target. Go to group, create new. Then we go back to the normal edit tool. Remember to do that, Control D basically, and then I can move all these together. And if I want to, I can't, I'm going to ignore element grouping and I can't remove one of these anymore from each other. So if I want to do that, I go, basically I click on this so they're not all selected. Then I can move this. But if I, for example, if I select, go to group, select all, then it selects them all and I can move them again, even though I have ignore element grouping on. But if I press so they're not selected, I can move them individually again. And if I put element grouping on, you don't have to select them. So it's like several options you have for moving stuff around or stuff like that. I usually delete empty tracks. It's just a bit messy because I'm not used to it myself. I spend a lot of time, no matter how, if they don't go together, I just spend so much time trying to like put them together, or otherwise you can just, when you're done with this and I want it to be a video, because you can't upload just this file, you have to go to, let's say I want to save it as, let's save it as editing, for example. Then it's this, and you can only have this because this is going to be a big file. The videos you record here are really big, and you want to compress them down, and you want to be better quality, or you want it to not be, see here, it's like laggy when it goes up there, so it's not smooth. It's not really smooth. It's just, you need to render it then. And to render it, you press so that everything becomes blue, because I don't know how to remove this thing. It's just in the way for some reason. But I usually, what I used to do is you press so that this thing comes up, this yellow, and it shows blue everywhere, targets everything. You have this thing here, and you want it to pull it to what part you want to render. This is the end of the thing that we rendered here, or we edited, and I want to render only this. This is going to be a video basically, all this. But they're a bit far apart, so there's going to be black screens here. But as I said before, put them together, makes that transition. See, it's a bit laggy when it changes to the screen there. So if I show you, you see it's a bit laggy when you turn into the other scene there. So I pull this where I want it. It's a bit, it's like a little helping hand there. It shows you where the blue. So if I want it to stop right there, or if I have like a video that goes a bit longer than that, it shows down there, then it's a bit blue. And then I pull it to the beginning, basically. Pull this to the beginning, come on. There you go. And then I double click this, so it's all targeted. So it's not gonna render all this, because this is not things I don't want. I just put everything that I found parts with and edited them and made them fun to watch, and then just target all these, press file, render as, and here you have a lot of options. Main content, I like MP4, like they're the best things in my opinion, because it's just easiest ones, and there's good options here that you don't understand. I don't understand other ones because I don't use them. There's for other iOS, and like if you're Mac on But this is probably the best. It's MP4 if you use that format, or MP like an MP3. That's just music. MP4 is video and music. So that's gonna take all the sounds and all the video clips here. So depending on how you record it, if you record it on 720p or 1080p, 1080p I don't record because that is really requiring. It takes a lot of memory, which I don't have. I usually record 720p. I usually go customize template, change this because I'm recording on 30 frames, not 29.9, whatever. And this is just if you wanted to. It's just the MP there here, just MP4. Just leave it as it is. Press OK. There's also a thing. So now I have this here, and I can press render if I wanted to render. But also check this. You press it up here, properties. For example, if this program thinks it doesn't know that you're recording in 720p, and it like shows you that you're recording in like really bad quality, just go up here, project video properties. This comes up. This is basically just, it shows you, yeah, I'm recording 30 frames, it knows that. I'm recording in 720, it knows that. Make sure it's best, full resolution running quality. Make sure it's best. Make sure you go to audio, up in here, the tabs. You make sure it's the best here, resample and stretch quality. This is just bit rate and sample rate and rulers, I don't know. Summary, I don't know. It's audio CDs. So if you want to make it to a audio or a CD or go to CD, that is not something you would usually do when you use Sony Vegas, honestly. Then we have this selected. We go to render as and make sure that everything is correct. So it's 720 on the video properties. So it knows that I have the 720. Go here. Have to redo customize template. Press 720. You can scale it up to. So let's say I recorded 720, and I want to scale it up to 1080p. But sometimes this can get a bit fucked up, but the quality can get a bit better if you want to like zoom it in, or. But just keep it as it is. And change this to 30 frames because that's. And then all you do is press OK basically. And then you press render. Here's what it's going to be named and where it's going to be saved. So let's press render, and now it takes 15 seconds. This can take quite some time actually. So depending on what you're doing, if you have like transitions, a lot of transition, a lot of sounds, the same takes a bit longer depending on what part you're rendering and etc. So when this is ready, it says approximate time, it says percenter. Sometimes it can stop working in case your computer CPU is really bad. So I obviously prefer checking up settings in case it crashes when you're rendering. It stops working or etc. So it like doesn't use as much power, but then it will take a lot longer, I'm pretty sure, because I can barely play with when I'm rendering. It takes so much power. So that's done. It says open folder. Open it and it shows it here. So here we have our 29-second video. We open this and I have the music and you can hear the sound I edited. And now to this long. So let's say sample text there, and then it's here zoomed in as we did in the video. Make sure every sound is okay, so it's not a lot loud on something else, and it's like really loud music and you can barely hear what you're saying when you make something fun. So watch it through a lot of times whenever you edited a separate part. So that's, you can save it in case you want to continue later, and if you don't want anything to get fucked up in case you ruin, or it's just it's sometimes it can be a bit advanced, and sometimes you don't know what you've done and you don't want it to be like that. You just close it down, load it up where you saved that file. So if I say, oops, yeah. So if I close that down, and there it is, or where is there editing? It's a Vegas file. So I open this, and it opens up basically here. This is where the part where we rendered. Here you still have the ones that we saved on this. Just if you rendered or if you used a video here, You see this video saved on my computer? It's in here where I have recorded stuff. Don't remove these. They're like really big. This is, what is this? Oh, this is rendered ones, right? Huh. But yeah, this is like 17 gigabyte. And if you remove this, it will say media offline. So for example, if I, even though if you put it here, so if there's a clip I have on my computer that I take this part on, and I remove that clip from my computer, uh, it will not work. It will just be blank here. It will not show. So make sure you don't remove stuff until you rendered it, uploaded it, make sure not something is copyrighted. Otherwise you have to go back and record again, and then you lost that part because you deleted it from your computer because you wanted the same memory. So make sure you save those parts, or all the stuff you used to, clips used to edit and render. So yeah, let's close that down, and then you have the part that we rendered saved here. Then you just upload this to YouTube basically. Since if you don't know how to do that, then I'll show you. Just go to YouTube basically. You go to your channel, and then it says upload, and then it's just you choose the files, and then you go to where it's saved. I don't remember because I had the place I saved and fucked up. So let's say I want to, I'll just demonstrate team a moment. It's just 7 seconds. So there you name it, and you type description tags for what you want. It's just like League of Legends. Of if it's offend or like public, if you want to show it to everyone, just friends, private. It's gonna, and then when you're done, you save this by pressing publish. But I'm gonna cancel that because I don't want it to upload, because I'm not meant to upload it. Oops. This is the one if you want to upload more videos at the same time. So yeah, that's probably it. If there's anything you don't know, or I can just jump in a Skype call with you, I'll put the my Skype in this description, and you can just call me up, ask me if I have time, and I'll show you on TeamViewer what it is you're doing wrong or what it is you should do. So that's probably it for it. So hope you can manage to edit. Good luck, and tell me if there is anything you wonder about.